Get you in, we can squeeze you in. I said, I was here at 7:30 to be here at quarter to 8, and you told me to be here. I was here, I talked to you. You knew I was here.
Yeah.
And you didn't look at the computer that you put in yourself.
All right.
I hate running to Olympia to have to do this stuff. I don't know what else
It's
to do.
necessary. Yeah. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Oh, good morning. So, no plans for today?
No plans. We're just going to talk.
Tell us about the little blurb in the bulletin yesterday about the 5 hours a week tech support position.
Yeah.
Is that to get you off the hook from patching everybody's phone?
I think that's a very small part of it, but that was part of the discussion, was that that group decided that it wasn't efficient for a pastor to be spending his time doing that kind of stuff when he could be doing other things. So, I mean, Rick used to take care of a lot of things, like getting our antivirus for everybody's computers and switching up the backup data drives on the server. He used to back everything up to external hard drives in case the server crashed, and would switch out the external drives so that they were on rotating drives, just as another redundancy and other things like that. And Rick's not able to do that anymore, and it never was really his job. It was just something he did. So we don't really have anyone to do any of these kinds of things. Jeanette's computer's a dinosaur, and we don't have a replacement for it. Getting one of the things that the task force recommended besides this person was to get Wi-Fi throughout the building, to get a TV in the narthex with scrolling announcements that can be submitted by different ministries of the church and things like that. And we decided to have all these things done and to keep things maintained, which is why it's not a big hourly position. We need someone who can take those on and has the skills and can work with people, especially with when we have the TV out there and they need to, because they'll make the PowerPoint or whatever it is we use to make those announcements, so they're going to have to be interacting with people. And so that was the people person part of things, and working with us on staff, when there's a computer issue or crisis or something like that they can work with us. And so that's what that is. Other questions? Or is that?
That's it.
That was it?
Just curious.
Yeah. It's in the budget for 2016.
5 hours a week?
Yeah. So all of that stuff's in the budget. All of the purchases for the Wi-Fi equipment, the TV, a mini computer. There's I forgot what it's called, because I was the one that wrote up this proposal. But there's like a little HP something, and the computer is like the size of it's a little bigger than like an Apple TV, and so you can just attach it to the back of the TV, and it can sit back there, and then wireless keyboard and mouse, and you can just do everything on the TV, and the TV is the monitor basically. So all of those things are in the budget for this year. We just haven't. We've been working on a job description, and John Mee is in charge of that technology group, so he was doing that, and then he was gone to Thailand and Singapore, I believe, and he just got back, and so that's why it's starting up right now, as opposed to the beginning of the year. So yeah, that's what that's about.
That could be a component of the wellness center. That'd be a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you spend a lot. I hit you up once a month or something outside of this.
Right. Yeah, lots of people do, and I'm happy to do
It's
it
great.
when I have
yeah,
free time.
It is, and it's a good way for you to interact. But
Mhm.
like you say, that's not your job.
Yeah.
So,
The part of the youth auction was 2 hours of my tech time. So, and the Scaries won that. And I've done it, but when the women used to have their annual dinner and auction, they stopped it about 2 years ago. I think, or maybe it was more than that. When Lori Peterson moved away, that stopped. But both the years that I was here for that, I sold tech support and things like that. So, yeah.
how capable are your youth? For example, they just switched the cable provider at Maple Glen
Mm-hmm.
from Dish Network to DirecTV, but it's more complicated than that because it's somehow run through the building. They switched the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody has to have a new set-top box, a new DVR if they want one. And
New
of course, all the
remotes.
channels have changed. and
Yep,
everything's
numbers are
changed.
changed.
And these people are, they're dependent on that TV.
Yeah.
So everything's changed, and they're just at wit's end. I didn't know what, my TV didn't work out.
As far as the TV, I think any of our kids could.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that the Rent-A-Kid thing,
Yeah.
Rent-A-Geek kid would be, or just as a outreach ministry.
Yeah,
the kids
for sure.
To the old people.
Yeah,
is
to the
your
nursing
TV, your
homes.
phone, Jonna's phone wasn't working yesterday.
Hmm.
You know, the loose wires need to be plugged in. So it's not high tech, gee whiz computing skills. It's just,
Yeah. Simple stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. For people who are up on it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think any of them could help out with that.
Are
Yeah.
there kids that are tech savvy enough to do some of that? Are there in the
Yeah.
group?
Yeah, they can handle most of that. I mean, especially the TV and cell phones. I mean, yep. They pretty much live on their cell phones, so which is one of the things I got to have a conversation with them about last night before the show started for intermissions. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe we can get in touch. You said it was Maple Glen? Yeah, that can be frustrating. I mean,
And Barbara Katari was saying that she had bundled internet, phone, and TV through Comcast. And now that it's somehow she has to use DirecTV, that breaks the bundle, so she has to pay more for the service.
yeah, it's actually kind of crazy that oftentimes, which seems weird, but oftentimes with these companies, it's cheaper to have all three bundles depending on your level, but sometimes it's cheaper to have all three bundled together than it is to have two. But it depends on the tier you're going with, but yeah.
You're talking phone, computer, and cable, right?
Phone, internet, and television.
Yeah.
Century, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most companies do. And if they don't, they partner with people like DirecTV or Dish Network to get that extra component, or vice versa. I don't know which way it goes, but they do their best to get all three together. Yep.
Yeah. I tried, I think Comcast was $99, I think is what they quoted me. And I said, no, I can get DirecTV because I have one of the brochures. And they said, yeah, but you won't get service. And I'm not sure you don't get service. And where I live, there's probably half have DirecTV, but there's like a partial. It's not all three pieces, it's one, there's two.
Yeah.
And but I figured $100 was a little steep for that, I thought.
Yeah, it just depends on, I mean, all of it is getting expensive. You know, you got your cell phone and you've got your, so yeah.
Well, that was the other thing. They wanted to take my cell phone and put it together with their stuff there. And I said,
Yep.
no, I don't want to do that. I'm fine where I am, you know.
Yeah.
And then the lady got kind of sided over and just drew a line, and I had to sit there. And I was,
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, they're bundling even more now. So you can get your phone, cable, internet, cell phone. And now these companies like AT&T, and maybe the other ones are too, are getting into home security systems now too. You can bundle that in as well. I probably get an email twice a month from AT&T saying, "You'll never believe this offer," and it's about their new security. It's been around, but it's getting more popular, so they're pushing it harder for to bundle your security system in with there and turning your home into a smart home. So
Yeah, but when you do turn your home into being a smart home, I think I asked you this before, a while ago. Then they want to rewire your house with different wire, right?
some of the stuff isn't, because some of it's wireless, and it all talks through your Wi-Fi network. So there's really not any wiring, and a lot of things. If you want to like have it built in and look kind of like there's. Let me go with this analogy first. Surround sound. You can have surround sound where you can get them to be Bluetooth or wireless, so there's no wires running around. Or you can have them built into, like I think our house that we bought, it was built. The surround sound was built when the house was built, so you don't really see any wires. Everything's in the walls. And then if you didn't have that before Bluetooth and wireless came out, you would have to have had wires running around.
Yes.
And so, yes, if you want it built into the house, then you would have to have all the wires laid behind the walls and put holes in the wall to get all that done. Or there's a lot of systems where basically, you know how there's plugs where you've got your typical 2-plug in the wall, and then you could stick like a 6-arc plugger on top of it. You can do that with home security stuff now. So if you want like a smart carbon monoxide thing, you plug it into the wall on top, and then it's also got an extra outlet. If you want to, so you can do those kinds of things where they're, what would that term be, modular? Where you can kind of piece it together and plug it into plugs, and then that way you get away from wires. But you're also taking up the plugs in your house if you need them that bad.
Well, I'm trying to, with my new TV, after I bought it, all I had was a volume was in the speakers, I think on the bottom somewhere or on the sides. Yeah. And I bought this other thing. Okay, and then the son was like, and I don't have, my hearing isn't necessarily bad, but I don't hear well on this side at the best of times. So I find myself, I watch TV, I sit here and I watch this way because I can hear better that way.
Right.
But I bought this other thing about that long.
The sound bar? Is it a big long speaker?
Well, it's a big long thing about that much long. It's about a third of the width of my TV. I say about 30 inches or 28 inches, and about that thick. And it's supposed to be wireless to go to speakers. So and then they sent me this other square box, or I got another box about that big, that I had to wire to that thing, and it was
subwoofer.
Yes. But I can't make that device go to my wireless speakers, which are not part of that package. Does that mean that they won't work with that package? I mean, what I did is I bought it all at Walmart. Right. And I listened to the guy. He said, well, if you do this, you need to buy that. And I got 6 speakers about maybe yonder, like that big. And it's never worked. And I'm obviously, I'm not electronic smart. I'm not trying, Right. And all I did is sound out of that one box, which I think isn't working right either, because I can turn the volume up loud and it's not blaring. So I'm almost sure it has a level, like a volume vertical level, which I can't seem to make these other speakers join on to that. But I bought this, that big long thing, and I bought the speaker separately. Is it likely that they don't marry to each other?
It all depends on brand and if they're Bluetooth or wireless, and
they're supposed to do the boxes on that stuff.
Yeah, but there's if they are all Bluetooth, then there is a pairing process, which you'd have to read through the manual, but typically involves holding down the power button until it blinks 2 different colors, usually blue and red.
That's for that power bar thing.
Yeah, well, and the individual speakers should have a power button on them too.
So you
Of
need
some
both
kind.
those as well,
Yes, and then they should
Mary. Okay.
basically start beeping at each other like little androids, and
And then they should be
then they
connected. Okay.
something like that has to happen. They
Okay.
won't just automatically start working.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I've got a portable speaker. I think we've talked about these before, and it doesn't know my phone exists until I pair them together. And there's a physical process that you go through to pair them together. So,
Okay.
whereas with the sound bar, it's physically plugged into the TV. So that is
Yes.
the pairing process.
Yeah, I mean,
But if something's Bluetooth or wireless, there's an extra step to it because there's no physical wire
Because it's not
automatically
married.
pairing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yep.
And my neighbor came over, knows everything. Like his computer is smart.
yeah.
And he came over and he said, well, and I won't get into language, you bought this at Walmart, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he just shook his head, well, this is just cheap. It cost me $200. I don't think that's cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's not, I mean, obviously, with anything that you buy, you can spend as much money as you want.
So, yeah,
So,
well, I mean, I'm just saying
yeah,
it costs $200. That's not cheap
Yeah.
to me.
No.
Because that other one's down at $49.
mhm.
And the guy recommended, he said, this is what you want for
Right.
that TV. Because
Yeah.
I married them together.
Yeah.
And so I bought them together. And he said, all you do is put it under the TV. So everything like everything's stacked like this.
Mhm.
And the wiring, I put all the wiring and follow the directions. I paid attention.
Yep.
And it works. But then I bought this other package of speakers
Right.
because I wanted to sound where I am, so I don't need it.
Mhm.
So what I wanted was so I could make the sound that's on this side of my head smaller
Right.
and the sound on this side of my head larger, so I
Louder.
could try to make it.
Balance it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Like I try to do that in my car, and
Yeah, the left-right balance.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got everything more on the right side. It's louder for you because you're on that side.
Mhm.
But I mean, and then usually when I have to get in the car, I have it turned down so low it's almost mute anyway. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So last week I briefly told you all about my experience. Sandy wasn't here, but told you about my experience with the 3D with ordering. I hadn't gotten it
Oh
yet,
yeah.
but my 3. So here it is.
Have you got it
I was
yet?
physically gonna bring it in, and I completely forgot this morning. But thank you. But I did take pictures of it
Handy?
to send to my brothers to show them because they were curious about it. But so it came.
What is it?
It's for a game and it has a lot of all these little spots. All the little those are token holders for a game, and then the center section is for cards. And it doesn't come with anything like that, and so they're just laid out all mixed together inside the game box. And so I found plans for a holder online for a 3D printer. And I found this service called 3D Hubs. Thank you.
Quickly, no, I can't pick my thumb up.
Can't let go. Gotcha. And it finds local people who have 3D printers. So this guy that did it for me was out of Poulsbo. And you can go and pick it up, but I didn't want to mess with driving up to Poulsbo. And most of them ship as well. And so for $25, that includes startup costs, the actual cost of the item, and shipping. I got 2 of these.
No kidding. So
And
how big are those?
It's about that big,
Oh,
the base, and about that tall. And again, it fits all the tokens in there, and you stick the cards in the center. And
how neat.
so it was, I think it was a $5 startup cost. $5 shipping, so that would be, and then it was $15.90 for the two actual
$25.90.
items. Yeah,
And what was,
or $14.90 because it was $24.90 was the total. So $14.90 for the two printings, $5 startup, $5 shipping.
cool.
Yeah,
What was the name of that service?
it's called 3D Hubs. Here, let me bring it up for you.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can still do it, but if anyone is, I'd have to sign in and find out.
That says local 3D printing, so that's the site you started at and went in there.
Yep. So let me bring, where did where's the other, no, it shows that I'm streaming. There it is. Here, let me bring it up for if anyone's watching at home or if anyone wants to watch later. But let me, I don't know if, I won't look right now, but if you are interested, after I was done with my first printing, it said, would you like to send an email to anyone? And if they sign up and order, they get $10 off their first order. So if you really are interested, I'll see if I can find, if I can still do that. Basically, you know, it's their way of getting other people
Oh, sure.
a part of the service, but
Clever.
yeah. So I did. I sent an email out to my brothers and a couple of my friends that I thought might be interested.
Yeah.
But so you click on this 3D print button. I wonder if I still have any.
And this was,
It's 3D, the number 3, and then
Right.
D.
okay.
And then-
so the first one was local 3D printing.
Well, no, this is all the same place.
Oh,
It
okay,
is
same
3D.
place. I
Yeah.
thought it was a different, okay.
Nope. Basically, it's people sign up to be. This is my guess. I still haven't. I plan on looking deeper into this, but my guess is that people sign up to be a part of this service. Almost like kind of like eBay. People sign up to sell on eBay, and then eBay takes a commission of that sale. This website will take a commission of each sale that
Okay,
for being the hub
right.
for this service. So then you load in your 3D file, and you literally just drag it here, and it's going to upload it. You pick which kind of material you want it printed in. So we'll just go with a general plastic. And then down here, it's going to start pulling up local printers in the area. But it hasn't loaded yet. So this is all saying $5 because that's, oh, that one says 2. But anyway, that is basically your startup cost. Just like if you go and have custom t-shirts printed, they're going to charge, if you have, whether you order 1 or 50 shirts, they're going to charge you that initial startup cost. So this does that as well.
And this is only out of plastic, nothing only.
No,
plastic.
no. Resin, nylon, plastic, polypropylene,
Well, I meant no steel, I meant not steel or metal.
industrial metals,
Well, the reason I'm asking, remember last week
sandstone.
when you were talking, I was talking to you about that part I
Yep.
got from my lift on my truck?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was in there again this morning, and I'm happy with my truck. It works fine. And I was talking with a gentleman that worked on my truck, and he said it's such a ripoff. But he also explained that, and I know nobody knows what this thing looks like, but it's like a round plastic thing, like about that tall. But it apparently inside the hole in the center, inside the plastic, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but the plastic is encased around it. It's like a tube, a metal steel tube.
Yep.
With that, and he said that's what makes it work. That's the device of working, because you put
Yep.
power to it, and then power goes away someplace else. I'm not sure. I know there's more beyond that.
Right.
And would they be able to, what I'm saying is, so would you go to a place that makes plastic, or would you go to a place that, or nylon, or whatever it is, or
Right.
do you go to a place that makes steel? And
I would do the steel one and see if they also do plastic.
because I got the original one, And he said the reason it's bad is, he says, and they went by the hour meter on my thing.
Right.
He's got 19,000 hours on it. I said, so what? It's plastic. It's nylon. It's white nylon.
Wears out.
And he said, well, it has something to do with the metal inside. It's the metal that gets wrong because it's a magnet. It goes magnet or not or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's that goes wrong. But he says they never see that unless it's like 20 years old.
Yeah.
And
So it's now loaded. So this is what the file looks like. This is what I just loaded up. So then you scroll down, and now you start getting the total price, base price.
Okay, how did you explain what you wanted? Like,
I found this.
Again, when I need some adaptive devices, which
Right.
I can't find anywhere.
Right. So there's a couple websites. I just started doing this, so I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but one of them is called Thingiverse. And you would just literally up here type what you're looking for,
Thingy.
just like a search engine.
Okay.
So we will search for what I was doing. So Father's Day is coming up. Becca was the one that came up with this. Because she's brilliant. For Christmas, I don't know if I told you guys this, but for Christmas, I custom made, my father-in-law plays these train games. Loves them, owns pretty much all of the ones that are out there. And I found online fan-created maps of the game. Because there's one, the original one is America. And then there's Euro rails, and then there's Russian rails, and there's China rails, and there's Nippon rails, which is Japan. There's African rails, or no, Australian rails. So I found one that was African rails. That was a fan-made one. And so anyway, I printed off all the files, and we built it. I didn't finish it in time for Christmas, so he and I finished it together, and we had a great time doing that.
Oh, I bet.
But it doesn't come with the little train pieces. We ordered just little pawns, basically generic pawns online for those kinds of things. But Becca said, look and see if they've got 3D printed train models, and then just print little, have them 3D printed for them. I said, that's brilliant. She's like, I know. So anyway, Thingiverse is one of the many websites. People will upload their designs basically for 3D printed things. So this looks like it's a train whistle. So this is, you click download this thing, and that will download the 3D file. And so then you load that 3D file to this website, and it's got everything that the machine needs to know to 3D print it. Kind of like some of these fancy sewing machines. Karen Scary has one, and she can download a pattern, plug it into her sewing machine, she still has to be there to help guide it and snip to change colors and things, so it's not completely automated process. But then she pushes print. That's how she does the stole symbols that the kids pick each year for AOB. Kids find the pattern. She buys it, downloads it, plugs it in the machine, and the machine basically automates the process. And that's what this is. So you get the file, you get the image, and it 3D prints it for you. And there's different things to consider. So you pick one, and then it tells you, if you click on the plastic, it tells you what kind of plastic, basically what quality you'll get out of it. Then you can select color. And then this micron thing, completely broken down. I asked my brother, who was an engineer, that was the wrong thing to ask. Because I wanted a simple answer. Did not get a simple answer. But basically the micron, the lower the micron, the more expensive it's going to get, because basically its quality is basically what it boils down to. So I did the most basic micron. So and it's not a big deal at all
So was
for
that
like
at 200, like you said on
yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
It was a
okay.
200 micron.
Okay.
So I'll try to remember to bring it in next time. But you can, because what it does is it melts the resin or
Mhm.
the material, and then each layer on mine. But it's to hold tokens. It's not a big deal. So if you wanted something that was a much higher quality, you want the lower micron level.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously you see the price jump. So it's 806.
And that's
But
at
then-
200. How do you change that from 200 to different?
Right. It's when you go to colors for whatever reason. But so this is all the 200 microns, and obviously price change doesn't change based on color. But then you go down to 100 microns, and it's now $4.33 more expensive.
More than what you paid originally? At
More than
like-
this 806 price you see.
Okay,
on-
okay.
So now it's gone up to $12. 50 microns goes all the way up to $25 more. So now you're looking at $33.
And what about white?
Yeah, there's white right there.
How much is that?
Well, it just depends on what micron quality.
No, that's because of where you are right there.
25.33.
So that'd be $33 or so, $33.50.
Yep.
Well, no, because I wanna, when I talked to, like I said, with the Capital Industries.
Yep.
With that piece, and they flat told me, if they could get, if I can get a better price than they paid, it's the same quality.
Right.
I have my old one, I just don't know how to do, like you made your, you had your diagram. or
Yeah,
your
these were
picture.
all pre-made. I don't know how to 3D.
No, but what
anything.
I'm saying is I have my old one, I just have to wash it so it's not
Right.
dirty, I guess.
Yep.
And they actually told me the only thing is the metal that went wrong in it, and that's time. And I don't understand that as a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some research with it, and I can't see why the metal would wear out being magnetic or not. Like I'm just.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like that's the parts I don't know just yet.
Yeah.
But if I could make 50 of those things and make $25 a piece selling it to a wholesaler, I'd do that in a second.
Right.
That's-
So yeah.
All right, we might be able to use that, because there's so many things that, don't come in our set size.
Right.
So it's really for this.
Yeah, it's a great.
Because of the size, we have more problem with.
Yeah. I mean.
Daniel trying to reach things when he's working on the car,
Mm-hmm.
with his short arms and
Yep.
hand, finger,
Mhm.
So, wow.
Yeah, and it's not something that I'll probably use all the time,
Right.
but knowing it's there, and like I did it for that game, and now I've got all my tokens in those slots and the cards in the card holder. It's nice and organized now. And I probably won't 3D print anything for a little while until something else comes up, but the service is there. I know it exists, and I can use it when I want to.
Is that stuff, could we use that service, is thinking of different picture for stuff in the church that needs to get made, that we need? It would be prohibitively expensive.
I
At
don't
3 or
know.
4 or 5.
I know, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, if people want to, but that's not really my.
No, I was
Area.
meaning for the church itself.
Yeah.
For items that are usable item here, let's rephrase it that way.
Right. Potentially. I mean, it'd be up to that group.
Because like you could make plastic plates for an outing or what service.
No, I think that would be cost prohibitive. I think it'd be way cheaper to have
Well,
Dixie or whoever.
You know where I'm saying, I'm just thinking out.
Yep. I know what you're saying.
That way, or like plastic cups. Like I know you can go to the dollar store and get them those for about 10 or 12 for $1 or something like that.
Right.
But if you could make them for a third of that or less,
Yeah.
and made 1,000 of them, then the church would have it for. I was thinking in a direction of where stuff gets used up in a big volume, maybe a couple,
Right.
3 times a year is what I was thinking.
Yep. Yeah, I would more see this as custom kind of things.
Okay.
And one of the things that it boasts on like the general website is, if someone has an idea and they want a prototype of it, then they can pay someone to 3D print their prototype device.
A different direction, like this thing right here.
Yeah, the case. Yeah, there's cases on here. I've seen them.
Okay,
Yep.
and then, you guys have laptops
Mm-hmm.
where you want a case like this thing. When I
Yeah,
got this
intern
original
Pastor
was-
Liz has a case on her Mac.
Yeah, and and like this thing here, I remember when I bought this, of course, this was when these were coming out, so the price probably has changed, I don't know. I
Right.
paid $29 for it, which I thought was a ripoff, but I wanted to protect my computer,
Mm-hmm.
which again, I don't know, new price, I don't know what they are now.
Right. Yep.
But like for yours, I mean, I can't see it being less than $20 or $30 for a case, like for one of these things.
Right.
Could they make them cheaper?
Possibly.
You know,
I've looked at some of these things, and I don't remember what it was, but I looked something up, and it was actually cheaper to buy it from
or whatever.
somewhere else where it's already been mass produced by a company than it was for me to have it made
Okay, well, again, I
myself.
just-
But yeah, I mean, but I think for more custom things like this holder, no one has them on the market.
So is that
Whereas
your
there-
design for that now? Is that your blueprint?
No. Someone else created it.
Oh.
Nope, I can't sell it, or I mean, I could, but you're not supposed to.
No, I did, well, whoever
But yes.
made it must have a patent on it, if that's the right word. I'm not sure if that's the word.
No,
No,
he made it. He threw it out on the internet for people to use as a I love this game, and I know you guys love this game too, basically. So here's my gift to the community, is basically what it was. But it's, I mean, and that's where you kind of go on the honor system of saying, this isn't my design, this isn't, I just had it 3D printed for my own personal use, and had a second one printed for Phil, because Phil plays the game too, and didn't have anything like that. And he and I played together, and he was digging through finding things, and I was like, I wonder if there's a better way to do that. And there was. So I honestly think it's more, doesn't have to be, but I think it's more geared towards more custom things, or things that aren't actually out on the market.
Could also be used for props for the plays.
Could be props for the plays. I was thinking, every so often, Pastor Steve and I have passed out things in church for people to take home with a sermon. I could have a ton of things printed off, 3D printed off, and pass them out as a little, reminder of what the sermon was about, things like that. Yeah, or for Easter or Christmas, or maybe we can have things printed and have people take them and hand them out to people. And maybe it's cheaper to do it this way, or maybe it's cheaper to buy them through some of these places. But offers more opportunity and potential for things. So anyway, and there's another view of it from the top down, and you can see inside. It's got in the bottoms, it's got little symbols so that you know which token goes in which slot. Because there's several, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are round. And so it's got the symbols on the bottom to let you know.
You can feel
Which
his,
I did on Sunday.
was he dazzled?
He was excited. And then Liz called me an enabler. So
And you went, yeah, okay.
no, I didn't. I did not. I told her that I was trying to keep Phil's things organized to keep their marriage happy and healthy. So
You weren't
And
supposed
did
to
she
lie
buy
when
it?
you're at church.
it's not lying, and I wasn't at church. I was at home.
Oh, well, okay.
I texted. She texted me, and so I texted her back. I had a whole bunch of more excuses to go with it, but
Did she buy it? Your statement.
Uh,
Keep the marriage
mm,
happier.
She may not admit to that one.
no, she didn't buy. What did she say? She said, "The joy is watching Phil organize his X-wing set." So I'm assuming there was slight sarcasm in that. So anyway, but it's great. I mean, just to be able to have that, and just there's my token I need right now. Yeah. So anyway, it was fun.
Good.
Yeah. Great little service, and it's way cheaper. I looked at other, being able to go through individual people who are doing. I don't know if maybe there are some people that are doing this as a full-time job, but my guess is that a number of these people, like the guy that I ordered it from, the actual return label was from a kayak company. So I'm assuming his primary job is he has like a kayak canoe sales / rental service up in Poulsbo, and then he does this on the side.
He merits
To
it
make-
all through his business, so he's
Yeah.
got his taxes. So they charge you tax or no?
Nope,
Okay.
I don't think so. No, it was $5 for the startup, $5 for shipping, unless they threw the tax into just the cost of the item and never itemized it out. But so, yeah. Anyway, it was great, and it was really cool. I don't know if I can still look it up, but you literally, I have no completed orders. See if we can click on it. I showed them last week, but the person can either accept or reject your order. Maybe the printing is too big for their machine, or I don't know, they're too busy or something. So they have to accept it first. But if you look up on the screen, you type in this box, and the next time the person gets the notification, they see the message you sent. So he and I literally just chatted back and forth to get all the details set, because he didn't have yellow and I wanted yellow. And so he said it'll take a couple extra days for me to order it and then get it. I said, no problem. So that was most of our conversation. And then he told me that he got it and that he was starting to print and that it'd ship out on Monday, which it did. And I got it on Wednesday. So.
UPS to you or FedEx, either one of those the other.
No, I think it was regular
Oh, mail?
mail because it came in my mailbox, not on the doorstep.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was great.
Thanks for the resource.
So if I get this plastic thing, that I'm gonna maybe kind of talk to you about this, but I'm gonna see if I could put this together. So do I need to have actual dimensional measurements?
Oh yeah.
And that stuff, which would be the inside diameter
Uh,
of the hole and
you need to have literally everything, and see millimeters, centimeters, inches. You either would have to use a program that does 3D design for a 3D printer, or you'd have to somehow talk to one of these people and see if they'd be willing to design it.
well, I can
for
do the
you.
measurements because it's vertical.
Right, but it's
barrel shape or anything.
it's an actual file, like a Word document, and so they literally have to have that file in that format to 3D print it. You can't just say it's 3 inches by 3.9 by 6.2 inches. You literally have to have a 3D image file for them.
So I'd have to put something in here to do that.
I don't know if they have any apps on.
Well, you know what I'm
iPad for
saying.
it, but yeah.
Groping here.
Yep. And I don't know if any of these, I don't know if this website does design, invoicing, shipping, pickup. Oh, it says modeling. I would guess modeling means that they will design it for you.
Would that be, I assume, different cost then, I would assume?
I would assume that there would be an additional cost for them to.
Because it comes back into the engineering of it.
Right.
If you wish. Okay.
Yep. All right. Other question, doesn't have to be about this because this is just chit chat day. So, other questions? Things going on related to technology?
Your latest understanding of the GPS capability of these things when not connected to the internet. I sort of believe that there's a GPS chip in there that hears the time signal.
Late on Friday,
Wherever you
December
are.
18, 2015,
That you
President
don't have to be
Obama
connected to the internet. What's your understanding?
don't have
And what brought it up
no
was
fanfare.
there's a new
After
app
all, it was the weekend
out
before Christmas.
that you,
And most of the White
if you're
House
going on a
reporters
flight,
have already gone
Mhm.
you put your origin and your destination
Inside the act,
into your
Section
phone, into the
106.
app,
Right.
and it pulls down the geology for your route. So
Right.
if you're sitting by the window and you look out and you say, oh, I wonder what that is down there.
Hmm.
The phone knows where it is by virtue of its GPS location.
Right.
And it links to these geographic features.
Hmm.
It says, oh, that's the river, that's McNary Dam.
Hmm.
But in order to do that, it has to be able to locate itself.
Yes.
So I think they work. I think GPS works, regardless of whether you're connected to the internet or not. What do you think?
I think so. So you're saying you don't have service and you're still getting
Right.
up to a certain point, it's been probably working in the background. And so it's got a general fixed area around you already loaded. And so I think,
Yeah, but no, let's say you take off from Seattle and you fly to Washington, D.C.
okay.
It downloads the features along that general route.
Mhm.
But where you are when you look out the window, it can only know by GPS.
Yes.
So the GPS has to be working regardless of whether you're connected to the Wi-Fi or not. Because people talk about being in places where their GPS doesn't work.
Yes.
But I don't think that's true.
No, that is true. I've been there.
Okay. I don't believe either way. I think it works. I think GPS is completely different from Wi-Fi.
From Wi-Fi, yeah.
Or cellular. You don't have to have internet connectivity for your location services to work with these things.
Which app are you using? Apple Maps or Google Maps? Is it the built-in one?
Yeah, probably.
Then it's Apple Maps. I'm not sure. I've found that, of course, I'm not a really good judge right now because I think I have a faulty GPS and Wi-Fi chip or wire or something. And so
It's not working.
no, I thought it was a software issue, but I'm now convinced it's a hardware issue. And so,
So what do you think, Richard?
No, I know with this, because I've been all over the country, it's up to Alaska. And I've been in places where I know exactly where I'm going from there, or I'm here and I'm going there, and I've been halfway, and I have no reception from my GPS in this. Or it's absolutely not receiving anything to say you are there. My screen just goes blank. And I think that that's the signal that's coming from the satellite. Yes, all of it may be in the program, but I don't think it's getting there. If you follow what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but that's not how I understand GPS works.
Because
There's 20, however many satellites up there.
like
They're
it's
walking a time signal all the time.
Yeah.
I think these chips are hearing that signal. If they can see the satellite, and it even works in buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
not steel buildings, I'm not well.
well, I don't know about that, but I don't know. But there's another thing about them too. These phones have accelerometers in them, and they have, I guess that's all. Anyway, once they know where they are, they can sort of tell where they're going.
yes.
Mhm.
So they can sort of, without a signal, position themselves.
Give you a general yes.
Correct.
That is true. I've been on the Bremerton ferry to Seattle, and it will follow along,
Right.
but not completely accurately.
Correct.
Yes, yes, I've had that experience.
But I think that's a line of sight issue in a steel ferry or something like that, or in a tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
or a cave, or in a dense forest.
Well, if I go to Eastern Washington up 97, 97 itself, not 97 alternate, and I get up by, or past rather, Olmac, about halfway to Riverside, and I'm a little bit too far, but right in that whole stretch and I've been on my bike with this plotting, of course, where it will just quit. And I can take my phone, on the other hand, and it'll work on my phone, but it won't work off of this until I get to,
Well, what I want to, and I believe that's true, but what I want to know is why.
well, I can't answer
Because
that.
if you're in an airplane and it works, then it ought to work if you're on a motorcycle.
Yes. Well, no, I'm just speaking because, but I mean, I've been in my car, I've been in my Dodge, I've been in my Dodge, well, my truck Dodge, my car Dodge, my
I
Chrysler.
understand that, but the reason for the GPS satellites to be up there is so cruise missiles can get where they're going.
Yes.
So you don't want to have a big hole in the Earth's surface that
Yeah.
a cruise missile can't fly through without getting lost.
But bear in
So
mind,
they don't exist.
they have a whole lot of different, better equipment, I think, that's in our
Not a
telephone.
whole lot better.
I think part of it also might have to do with the accelerometer inside our devices as well, in which it can,
The quality,
accelerometer.
oh no, but I mean the quality, you're talking about the quality of what's in the phone?
No, I'm just talking, I'm
It is-
sidestepping the conversation of quality and going to a separate potential reason for why it's still tracking is because the accelerometer, if it initially has a target lock of where you are and the accelerometer is still going, then it can basically give a trajectory.
Mhm.
I don't know. Looks like there's been lots of discussions online for why this happens too.
Oh, yeah.
And I just saw one and lots of theories.
One of the things to sensing capacity is GPS based, and it's altitude that's fuzzed in GPS because that's what you need to target.
Right,
You have to have 3 dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
For navigation, you only need 2.
right.
So they fuzz the vertical axis. But if you had a good barometer, you could,
Three-dimensional.
They also said if every phone had a barometer in it, then we could,
exactly, the weather
the
data.
weather would be minute by minute, extremely accurate. Because and you allowed it to be sent into like the National Weather Service. We could have minute by minute weather tracking
Wow.
all over the country.
So what did you search for? Does GPS work
Um,
without Wi-Fi?
What was my search? I can bring it back up. History.
See, and I plot my course, like I have some property up in Canada, BC.
Oops.
And I can plot myself from my house to there. I've done it so many times. It's in my phone. It's in this. It just automatically does it. Gives me my direction going 385 miles at this point, 128 miles at this point.
Mhm.
But if I go to Wenatchee, for example, and replot it, and then travel north from there, then it gets to that direction. If I refurbish it, say at Olmac, where I have a signal, and that's in this, and then I drive past that, it starts there, and if I just say I'm going that direction, not put an end over here, it gets lost. It's when I have an end over there, it has the path. I'm not sure exactly where I am. On my phone, it shows me because it follows me, but not on this one. And that's why I was explaining, I have that position over there, and also I have land north of Republic, about 7-8 miles.
Mhm.
And then I take the road to my property to the left and go about 5. Nothing works. And that's what I was referencing, like another referencing there. Because I mean, this thing here works everywhere,
That'd be a good place to be when the cruise missiles start flying.
because they can't get me. But I mean, I'm just explaining the stuff which has occurred to me. And if I go, like, for example, a different example is my farm that's up in BC, and it's past Vernon, which has every kind of device you want to be able to use. I can stand on my veranda, turn this on, and plot a course out, and it comes back no signal. So, you know, and my phone is almost the same thing. If I'm standing on my porch and looking yonder that way to the east, my phone works sort of, but if I go up my driveway to about 250 feet to the highway, or I'm under a power line, my phone works perfectly, and so does this. So again, like I'm not sure if I'm saying different than what you're explaining or not. I'm just explaining I have been in a position of that.
AGPS allows the phone to download satellite almanac data over the cellular network, so the GPS receiver can immediately know where all the satellites are. AGPS is not necessary, however, for GPS operation. Even if you have no cellular service, you can still use the GPS receiver in the iPhone. I've done this many times, so I have no idea why your friends have had trouble. I recommend blah 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 app, and it works out really well in the woods. You can even download offline map data. So this was
Where did you find that, or how did you get to where you were?
It was in Apple support. I forget what the exact search term was, but so yeah, it sounds like whatever GPS chip is in the iPhone uses satellites, not, well, it uses a combination of the satellites and cellular data to,
I think that's right.
because I think cellular data is more accurate.
Is there,
Yes,
but if you don't have a map to put it on,
yes,
then it's not very useful to you.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. But there are, yeah, and then again, there's also ones that do, there are apps out there that have offline maps.
So that's why they say you should download the maps first.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you lose your connection, you have the maps.
Yep, and the
And your
accelerometer and the
location.
GPS can get you the rest of the way. And I've had that happen before where my app has preloaded the entire trip. And so even if I have no service, it's still got me.
Yeah.
I've done that many times driving up Highway 3.
And that's why this airplane app, you have to put in the origin and destination first, because then it downloads all that.
Yep.
And then the GPS just puts it on.
Yep.
Puts you on the.
Along the route. Yep. Google Maps asks you if it has permission to download your area so that you can access at least certain features if you have service or not.
So does that data live with the cookie, so to speak? If you do that once, do you think it resides on your phone until you do something to get it off?
No.
You think it's every time?
Yeah. Once you close the app or once you enter a different destination, it's basically purged its.
That data.
Yeah.
Huh.
Would be my understanding. Unless you save it as a favorite or
Right.
like I've got home and work saved as favorites and
Sure.
things like that. But again, that's a theory that is not supported by.
Do you use your nav program very often? We hardly ever use it.
Yeah.
We went to a place though on Saturday that I actually knew where we were going.
Yeah.
But just to exercise the functionality, we put it into the nav program, Google Apple Maps or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it knew where we were going, but it took us
A different route.
a different route, which turned out to didn't work. We ended up, we could see it, but we couldn't get there from here. So I don't know, does that happen often?
Not often, but it does happen. I've had this in my first call. I was going to someone's house for the first time, and it wasn't a phone yet because they weren't quite there yet as far as popularity and data plans. So I had a little Garmin. That was the first thing I bought for my first call was a Garmin so that I could get to people's houses. And it had me go down a road and then wanted me to turn left and then turn left again to get to their house. Except there technically was a road to turn left onto, but it was permanently blocked off by yellow metal blockers on both sides. And so the road really wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so I've had that happen before.
We had one at the farm where if we put in the address of our driveway, it takes us around the other side of the pond, which is understandable. I mean,
It's trying to
you
get
do
you.
that.
Yeah.
It's just trying. But when it gets close, it says, park the car. You'll have to walk from here. It really says it.
Serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something else to always keep in mind, almost every destination I get to, it's always off by a couple hundred feet, which is understandable, but you can't just drive until it says you've reached your destination because it might be 300 feet back that way and you miss the driveway, or it might be 300 feet further, you haven't quite gotten to that street yet. So the major streets, it's pretty darn accurate because they've been so well driven. But yep, I drove by. I used it to get to Hal's house up in Lilywop because I'd never been there before. It got me there fine. Even helped me because again that couple hundred feet, give or take, I passed
Makes a
it.
difference.
I passed it, and so it rerouted and said just go up to the next street and got me back where I needed to go. So
I do.
Oh.